This is just a short video to explore the scale of Star Citizen's latest concept ship, the Crusader Spirit. I will jump into VR in a second to get a better feeling for the size, but because the quality in VR is not as great, I'll include some beauty shots of the Spirit at the end. There's a bit of controversy about the ship's specs, but let me show you. Small disclaimer, because this is VR I can see all the depths and scales as if they were real, but I know this doesn't translate to the screen, so I'll just try to explain what I see as best as I can. I know it doesn't look as good, but it gives a great insight. This is the Spirit C2, the cargo variant. It is currently listed as 35 meters in length, which many people pointed out makes no sense. It would look like this and could not fit people in the cockpit or vehicles in the storage. In fact, this would be the cockpit, which I testify is not human-sized, and if I try to stand up here, well... The hollow viewer model, however, is scaled at 49 meters. That is what you see here, and I think that is the right scale. I'll prove that in a second. But first let's enjoy the view for a moment. This is one of the reasons I love exploring these in VR. You don't see this kind of angle in concept art, and this view from the ramp, the silhouette of those back fins, looks amazing. The landing gear is obviously missing, that will add at least another 1 or 2 meters in height. I would open the ramp, but there is no interior yet, but we'll have a look at the inside in a second. It is quite a nice ship, even though it is still smaller than I imagined. I mean, it's not small, I can still stand inside the engine here. But I think on the concept images it looked a lot bigger than a two-person ship. But maybe that is just because other Crusader ships using the same design language have so far always been quite big. But no, actually it's not just that. This ship is only 7 meters shorter than the Mercury Star Runner, and just think about how many interior rooms that one has. This one might be a competitor to the Cuddy and Freelancer crew, role and price-wise, but it won't win an award for space efficiency, I'm afraid. Might be the prettiest of the three, though. These VTOLs are gigantic. I measured they are more than 6 meters wide, so you could park a pickup truck in here if you lost the thruster itself. But up here you might be able to see why I said it does not feel that big. It is not very wide. It has big wings, but the actual interior might be a lot smaller than the images, at least to me, felt like. This is the tractor beam that the C variant has. The other two both have turrets here, that I would assume can slide along these railings, similar to the RSI Scorpius. On the inside you can see, first of all, that this scaling looks correct. These seats are very much human-sized, and I have also compared the cockpit size to the Mercury Star Runner. This makes a lot more sense than 35 meters length. That said, these values are from the concept model, so they might still be changed for the final version. Also, the visibility looked bad from just a step back, but from the seat it's pretty perfect, as you would expect from Crusader ships. All that said, I think here you can see what I meant. There is not that much internal space if we compare it to the wingspan. Also keep in mind that this model has no interior, so what you see here is basically the outside hull of the ship, meaning it will become quite a bit narrower when the final interior is added. Now I do have a version with interior I'm going to show in a second, but it's just my personal reconstruction. I want to make clear that this is everything official we have. And here you can see the rest of the first door that comes after the ramp. Keep that in mind, because those are my reference points. So again, this is official. Now have a look at my interior. First of all, I lifted the ship a bit, so the angle of the ramp matches the concept art. I hope they changed this into a lift in the E variant, because as a VIP I would be annoyed. Also, I opened this top part of the ramp to the inside, because with the access that is there, it can't really open to the outside. This does not make a lot of sense either. That's why they just ignored that part in the concept art. Then inside you have a first compartment of just about 5 meters length, and then the first door I mentioned, then your main cargo grid. Now the most important question, can it fit small vehicles? My guess right now is that they will use this door to limit that, so you can park in this first area but can't get through the door. That way they don't have to measure and calculate how many SCU you're blocking. You either get the full cargo capacity or with the car the reduced capacity. I did not try all possible ones, but it fits the new STV. I want to say comfortably, but it's pretty much a perfect fit from ramp to door. The rock might still fit if you retract the arm, and what I said about the door is not that strict, but it's a bit tight. But ultimately, this scale is absolutely not final. I'm sure they will make a rock fit in here. Or maybe not, to give the Cutlass another advantage. Anyway, with the Mule, I'm not sure anymore. It fits in height, and also the width seems so perfectly calculated. But if this door is the limit, I think it wouldn't fit right now. Let's look at the cargo. The C1 is currently listed with 48 SCU. One of these boxes is exactly 1 SCU, so 1.25 meters square. And I put 3 in the front, 9 in the back, 2 rows in height, and the same on the other side. That would add up to 48. That would match the grid in the cutaway drawing, but would not match the concept art, but I think those are smaller boxes anyways. 2 SCU would be higher than any man. Then behind we have this very small area which I don't know the purpose of. Maybe a bit of player inventory storage space, or maybe a console for the bomber variant. And in the front, the cockpit, and then a bed on the left. I put beds on both sides, but currently only one is confirmed as far as I know. Maybe there's a small kitchenette on the opposite side instead. And now there's one last thing to explore. While all this is made up by me, the E1 variant, so the VIP personal transport, actually has a bit of interior, so let's have a look at that too. First of all, this would be the inside. Quite a low ceiling with the second floor. Not much you could put here, but I could still walk under the second floor without hitting my head. And upstairs, you have your 6 closed individual passenger compartments. Not really much to see here, except that apparently CIG has no idea yet on how to put the 2 elevators in here. And this, what might be mistaken for a small door to the cockpit, I think is confirmed as a luxury automatic cocktail bar. The view from up here will be really spectacular, but the compartments are quite claustrophobic. I think I would have preferred one open space. You would also see more, and it would be nicer, cozier, maybe even more luxurious. that was my first look at this Spirit. I do not usually cover Star Citizen news on this channel and probably won't in the future, but I do currently design and build my own ship for the Star Citizen universe. If that interests you at all, here's a playlist. And either way, thank you for watching and see you in the verse.